Hello everyone, I'm Meghna HL from Product Management Team. Today, I'm here to walk you through some of the capabilities of Extensibility Framework. Did you know that Enterprise One allows changes that happen at the user level very quickly? Then an IT developer could formally do a code customization and then deploy and test it. In this demonstration, I'm here to show you how, using our extensibility frameworks, you can reduce the customization to a great extent and allow your citizen developer to do the changes on the class without any delay. Let's get started.
As we all know, the overall industry is moving towards low-code, no-code approach. With the introduction of form extensions, form personalization, and orchestrations, we, as JD Edwards, are also aligned with the industry. Personalization is all about end user creating his own experience based on the changing business requirements rather than going to the FDA and making the code level change. Extensibility framework allows the changes that happen at the user level than an IT developer could formerly do a code customization and then deploy and test it. The changes like adding new fields to the form, associating orchestrations can be done to extend the business processes. Let's consider an example where we want to simplify the purchase order entry form. As we can see in the original form, we have a lot of fields available on the form like order number, order date, supplier, and so on. You can imagine how difficult it would have been if we had to have all the fields irrespective of whether the particular form control is required in a specific business scenario or not. What if we could add only the form controls that are relevant to the current business requirements and be able to remove the unwanted form controls that are not? Yes, it's possible to do so with our extensibility framework. With our extensibility framework, we can simplify the form according to the current business requirements. In this demonstration, I will show you how to add a new column on the form, remove the unwanted form controls, rename the form controls, and update the tab sequence. Let's now see how these changes can be done on the glass with our extensibility framework. We have selected the purchase order entry application, that is P4310. In this demonstration, we are using this application since it is one of our most customized apps to simplify the experience and to meet the specific business processes. Now, let us add a new column. To add a new column on the form, we will use form extension UDO. The icon with the plus sign here is the form extension icon. Let us click on it. Note that unlike any other UDO, form extension name is already auto-populated on the design panel. You cannot edit this field because only one form extension can exist for Enterprise One form at any time. It is displayed in the format application ID underscore form ID. You can see the complete list of business view columns that are available for use on this form here below. I am now adding buyer number since we might need this information in near future by clicking the plus sign which is available here. The form control buyer number is now available on the form. We will now reposition it. As we can see, there are too many form controls which are irrelevant to our current business requirements. So we can remove them by clicking the hide sign so that only the form controls which are relevant to the current business requirements are shown on the form. We will now simplify this form by repositioning, resizing, and removing the unwanted form controls. This is how the form looks after the simplification is done. We can also rename the various form controls. For example, if you want to rename the form control branch plant as business unit, we can right click on it and select the rename label. and rename it as business unit. Now, let us see how to edit the tab sequence. Before editing the tab sequence, let us understand what tab sequence is all about. The tab sequence of the control determines the order in which the cursor travels through the controls on the form. Click the controls in the order in which you want the cursor to travel. The first control that you click becomes number 1, the second becomes number 2, and so on. For example, when the user opens the form, the cursor appears on the control labeled number 1. When the user presses tab, the cursor moves sequentially to the control labeled number 2 and so on. Let us now edit the tab sequence. In the right hand side, we have Form Extension Manager. Under Form Extension Manager, we have Edit Tab Sequence checkbox. Let us click on it so that we edit the tab sequence. As visible, the tab order on the form doesn't make much sense. It is easy to change the tab sequence according to our current business requirements. We will now do so. We are done with editing the tab sequence. Now, let's save this form extension by clicking the Save icon. The various changes that are done are available for other URLs like personalization, grid formats, etc. You can now request to have it published so that it is shared with the other users by clicking the Request to Publish icon. We will now close the side panel. This is the simplified form after all the changes were done. We can now see the additional form control that has been added, that is the buyer number. The branch plant has been renamed to business unit, that is reflected here. The unwanted form controls have been removed. Also, the tab sequence has been updated according to the various business requirements we had. We will now summarize what we had gone through in this demonstration. The original form was simplified by adding a new column to the form, removing the unwanted form controls, renaming the form controls, and updating the tab sequence. All of these changes were done on the glass in a couple of minutes with no IT using our low-code, no-code approach. In addition to these features, we also have capabilities to remove the tabs, launch an orchestration, and so on. To learn more about extensibility frameworks, check out our extensibility page on learnjd.com. Thanks for watching.